how to get bigger and stronger naturally. For a very long time, I hit this kind of plateau and I couldn't continue to progress, but I made a few tweaks to my training and I kept getting bigger, as you can clearly see, and I kept getting stronger. Now, my personal record for bench press, and I don't bench press, this was literally my second time benching 110 kg at 17 years old. I'm 18 now, so I could probably do even more. But that's just to show you I know what I'm talking about when it comes to my strength. And obviously, you know what I'm talking about when it comes to aesthetics. So if you want to get bigger, you want to get stronger, you need to train in the right way. Now, you want to be doing exercises which isolate the muscle. So for example, for biceps, you do preacher curls. You don't go and do like pull-ups, for example, for your biceps. You do the exercises which isolate that one muscle group, okay? But when you do those exercises, you need to stay in an appropriate rep range. Now, if you want to get stronger as well as putting on muscle, then stay in the rep range of 5 to 10. I know people say you can go higher than that, you can go lower, but if you go a lot lower, you're going to be needing to do a lot of volume to actually hit the muscle appropriately. So if you're doing 1 rep for every set, it's not going to be enough. You're going to have to do like 10 sets to really even feel anything. And then if you go too high, you'll just be fatiguing yourself. It will take too long. And yeah, if you're doing 30 reps for an exercise, it's a bit crazy. So 5 to 10 is a great place to be at. You're going to be building so much strength, and you're going to be building your chest up, for example. If you're doing bench press, you're going to be building up any of the muscle that you want to hit if you do that rep range. Now, my incline dumbbell press, I dumbbell press 40 kg, all right? Both hands, 40 kg, 40 kg. And I get around 8 reps. Usually I do 3 sets for everything. So I do 8, 7, 6 reps, all right? And that doesn't just improve my strength and it means I'm going to consistently go up in weight. It also means I get a really nice big chest. As you can see, a full looking chest. That is what happens when you stay in that rep range. You get the muscle and you get the strength. So if you want to get bigger and stronger naturally, stay in that rep range. Now, some of the exercises I like to do to personally just build muscle and get stronger, I don't actually do any of the big compound movements. I don't do the bench press much. I don't do the deadlifts. I don't really do any of that because I want to make sure I'm hitting all of these muscles that I need to hit appropriately. So I'm doing more the isometric movements, the isolation movements. So for bicep curls, I'm doing incline curls. For chest, I'm doing incline dumbbell press. I'm doing, for back, I'm doing lat pull downs. I'm doing the exercises which fixate on that one muscle and I'm not recruiting any other muscles, so I can focus on stimulating that one muscle. Now, when it comes to volume, if you want to get bigger and stronger, you need to not be doing too much and you want to not be doing too little. Now, I was someone who was on this massive wave of do high volume, more volume means more growth. Now, that's not completely true. If you are trying to build one muscle, say you're trying to build your lateral delt, right? Your side delt. You could do up to 30 sets a week if you wanted to grow it. That is where maximum growth is going to be if you did 30 sets a week for that side delt. But that is only if you trained your side delt. If you want to train your entire body each week, you can't do 30 sets for your side delt. You won't be able to recover. So you want to stay in the range of maybe 6 to 10 sets per week per muscle group. So, you could go a bit higher than this. You could go up to 15. You could probably go even up to around 18. But I think for effectiveness, so you're not in the gym the whole day, so you can, get your session in and go and enjoy the rest of your day. I think, 6 to 10, 6 to 12 sets for each muscle group every week is perfect. Now, I do a little bit more, but I think that's because I did calisthenics for a very long time. So I'm used to doing quite high reps and quite high volume. So I'm used to a lot of volume. But if you're new to the gym, if you are trying to build a nice aesthetic physique, but also get stronger, just stick to, 6 to 10 sets every single week. You'll be completely golden. Please do not do too much volume. I know you might fall into the trap of thinking, let's do 50 sets a week for my chest. It's going to get massive. It genuinely won't. there is something called fatigue. And if you are fatiguing your chest too much, if it's always feeling sore and then you go and hit your chest again, it's not going to be growing much. You're not going to be getting much gain. So recovery and that recovery in itself is just as important as, training that muscle. So you want to be doing it an adequate amount. Now, when it comes to training till failure, I train till failure every single set. Just a disclaimer, by the way, my aesthetic body course is in the link in the description. It teaches you exactly how to build the aesthetic physique and get in the best shape of your life. Go check it out, link in the description. There are people who say you should leave reps in reserve. And this is basically where you go and say you do bicep curls. On your last, few reps, you realize, oh, I'm 2 reps away from going to failure. All right, I'm done now. I personally don't do that. Now, the science doesn't say that going till failure is better, completely better for muscle growth than leaving a few reps in reserve. But the reason I do it is, first of all, because I love training, but also a lot of people underestimate how far they can actually push a set. So they will do their set and they'll say, oh, I'm 2 reps left in reserve. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be stimulating so much muscle growth. Sure. But then we see, if we go and look at their set, they actually had another 5 reps in them. So they were actually 5 reps in reserve, not 2. Or even worse, they could have been 10 reps in reserve and not 2. So that, for me, I don't want to be having to do those calculations. I just want to get in that, get on the bench, do the exercise, and I know I'm done because I can't push the weight anymore. There is no reps left in reserve because I can't push the weight any further. That, for me, works because I don't want to be doing those calculations. I don't want to be thinking, oh, how many reps do I need to do? Just train till failure. It feels nice. You will see the progress in the mirror and you will love it, all right? I know in the first few weeks it might be difficult, and to be honest, in the first few weeks you should take it pretty slow. You shouldn't be, straining yourself too hard because you just won't stick to it. For so long I was so on and off the gym because the first 2 weeks of going to the gym, I would just go as hard as I physically could to try make up for all of the years I hadn't been working out, which is what a lot of people do. And then I just quit because I was so sore. I didn't enjoy the workouts and everything was terrible. So if it's your first time in the gym, start really slow. Start with maybe 1 set for each exercise, and then you can work your way up and you can start training till failure. And I personally recommend training in that way because it feels amazing. You get a sweat on, you feel good, and you will make so much progress. Now, you probably can make the same progress if you leave a few reps in reserve and you don't fully fatigue your muscle, but I personally think it just feels good, and also it's got me absolutely jacked. So it's not really been a problem for me. I'm just going to continue training to failure. So you want to get bigger and stronger. You want to be staying in that 5 to 10 rep range. You want to be doing an adequate amount of volume, maybe 6 to 12 weekly sets for each muscle group. So say, for example, you do 2 sessions for chest each week. You do maybe 3 sets for the first on one day, and you do 3 sets on another day. Or you could do 6 sets on one day, or you could do 6 sets on one day, 6 sets on another, and have 12 sets throughout the whole week. It depends on how much volume you can tolerate. If you find yourself feeling too fatigued the next time you go and hit that muscle again, then you train too hard. And that might be where you have to scale it back a little bit, because if you feel sore for the next session, you haven't got all of the gains from that session yet. So whenever I go really hard and I feel as if, my chest is still sore, there will be times where I will take that rest day, even though I don't want to take a rest day. And I will, or maybe go hit another muscle group, because I know if my chest is still feeling sore, it's not ready for another session. It hasn't got all of the gains from the last session. And so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait it out, recover. I'm going to get good sleep. And then next time I'm back, I'm going to be able to progressively overload and go up in weight, go up in reps, and make even more gains. Now, the last thing I want to say to get bigger and stronger continuously, naturally, is you need to progressively overload. So many people will literally get into the gym and just stay on the same weight for a year. They'll do the same reps, same weight, and they'll be like, why am I not getting bigger? Because your body needs more load to grow now. In the first 2 weeks of doing that same weight, sure, you'll see some great growth, but then your biceps, for example, they've gotten used to that load and they are ready for more They can do more. You can put more tension and load on that muscle to allow it to grow, to force it to grow. If you think about muscle growth, basically, as you get stronger, your body's like, oh, I'm getting stronger and I'm pushing all of these weights. I should build some muscle to accommodate for that. That's basically what happens. So to continuously build muscle, you need to be putting more weight, more load onto the muscles to keep allowing them to grow. And that is you also getting stronger. Now, muscle and strength are correlated. They're not the complete same, but they are heavily linked. If you see someone who has, is really good at bench press, has a 200 kg bench press, it's very unlikely, almost impossible to go and look at their chest and it not be big. So there's a clear link between the two. And you can train in a way for strength, you can train in a way for building muscle, but you can optimize for both. If you stay in that 5 to 10 rep range, you have that adequate amount of volume and you have good technique, you're progressively overloading, you can do the both naturally. I genuinely believe this program will change your life if you listen to the advice I've got in there. It's a playlist of just videos of me giving my advice, giving my knowledge. It's 6 hours long and it will transform your physique if you let it. It is the only program I would have ever suggested to the younger me, to the younger fat me, because I know it would change his life completely and he wouldn't have had to go through all of the trials and tribulations that I had to, and he could have bypassed all of the mistakes I ever made, current me ever made, and he would get even more jacked than I ever am now. So yeah, which is quite sad actually, but you can do the same. You can bypass all of the mistakes I ever made. You can learn exactly how to build muscle, how to build strength, how to bulk, how to cut, how to do anything you could possibly want when it comes to fitness. I've not left any questions unanswered, and I can promise you that. Go check it out. Link in the description. It will change your life if you let it. Go check it out. Link in the description.